All right, well, there might be an independent investigation into the death of that Saudi journalist, but it is not stopping the deals from continuing to be made. The Saudis reporting today a $50 billion deal that encompasses oil, gas, and infrastructure arrangements with 15 key players from all over the world, a third of them American firms. They have a vested interest in this, and they don't want to lose this, and they're not going to lose this. A reminder of the Saudis' influence in the global financial community. Market watcher Alan Uckman joining us now. Alan, it's very clear that I'm not saying it will be business as usual with the Saudis, right? But if anyone we're concerned about all of a sudden freezing them off, that's not happening.
Yeah, you may have heard this phrase before, but follow the money. So the money's not going to change. You're seeing crude oil off a little bit today. Saudi Arabia came out with a statement saying that they're going to actually pump a little bit more to take up for the Iranian slack with this issue that's going to happen in the next couple months. Their direct quote was they want to provide a responsible role. And so by them pumping a little bit more, we see oil down. We're at the $66 level. Let's remember we've dropped from 76 all the way down to 66 just since October 3rd. But this is the fourth time this year that oil prices have dropped more than 10%. And every other time they've rallied back and made new four-year highs.
Well, for the time being, that's buffeting a lot of the energy stocks. We've already seen a whole sector, like the auto sector, has been under duress. Maybe that's part energy, that's part probably more trade than anything else, and just higher interest rates. But one sector after another seems to be taken out here, and I'm wondering where there's some follow through with that we should be watching for.
Well, I think the oil market's very much impacted in the last couple of weeks because of the macro market stall. Now, I'm liking this price action from today. This price action where we flushed out and took out those October 11th lows in the S&P and then rallied. Now we're back above that. We're only down 1% on the day. This is how bottoms get put in. This was one more shakeout. And if you look at the VIX got up to about 24 today. That high that we had 2 weeks ago was 29. So you're seeing some bullish divergence there. The dollar's down and interest rates continue to decline. They're off their 2-week highs. So there are a lot of positives here. And now we're going to get into this overload of earnings, and we're looking for 19.5% growth rate for earnings for this quarter. I think this could be a bottom in place.
When you refer to the VIX, of course, you're a very storied fear index that can change on a dime, and often does. But let me ask you a little bit about what this says of a market that used to, ignore the bad news, that sometimes stumbles more often than not on the bad news. You talk about earnings, for example, that are very strong, and they are. But then we start looking in the weeds on guidance, whether it's from Caterpillar or 3M or a host of these others. And then we suddenly look at sales, where we didn't pay nearly the amount of attention to revenues in the past that we are now with the likes of IBM and others. That it's like the market is fishing for a reason to take profits. What do you make of that?
Yeah, definitely. So what you're saying is you're always looking for issues in the marketplace and not to be happy with where we're at right now. That's just human nature. That's just psychology. But this pullback is healthy. Let's remember we sold off 4% 2 weeks ago. We were positive last week, and this week we've had that dip and now this rebound. Let's see where we finish today. It wouldn't be surprising to come all the way back to unchanged. We're down less than 1% after all this. And the big news overnight was China selling off 2%. But guess what? China had a surge yesterday of up 5%. So it gave back some of its gains is all it is. I think you're just having some nervousness, and that's just natural for a market that's come this far. One last thing, I'm all about price, not politics, but to come out and say that the election is a cause for concern, you can't have amnesia and ignore 2009 to 2016. Money was made by everybody.
Yeah, it was a bogus thing. He either misstated it or lied. I don't know. But very good having you. Alan, now when, of course, we're referring to Larry Kudlow, who's a wonderful human being, a great guy, but to blame what's going on today and concerns about an election 2 weeks out is nonsense. And I think Larry knows it. I think most good thinking, proper thinking, truthful people know it. We'll have more after this.